Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Wichita Vice.
Hey, here we go.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? It's your Starship Captain, Chris with a K, leading this new age of mutants through the multiverse of supers and freaks.
Yeah, I like it. And it's me, Marquez Christopher Eason, straight from the Fortress of Solitude. It's the off-brand Superman.
Refreshing your host. This is your host, Carlos.
There
As
you
simple
go.
as that. Simple as that. All right, you guys, we're going to discuss Moon Knight. Right now, it's airing right now on Disney Plus. So make sure that you tune in to all the Marvel fans. Tune into Disney Plus and starring Oscar Isaac in Moon Knight. Let's go ahead and give a quick, brief pause to our following sponsors.
Hey, guys, why don't you check out She Barber Cuts Barbershop and give Markeisha Brown, the licensed professional barber there, a call at 316-218-3566 for all your haircut needs. She's got cuts for kids, adults, and for those looking for the good one, the deluxe with beard trims, wash, and hot towels. So don't forget to give Markeisha a call at She Barber Cuts and see her at 2319 North Ridge, Barber Suite 6A here in Wichita, Kansas.
All right, welcome back, everyone. So, Marquez, have you seen Moon Knight yet?
Yeah, I saw the first 2 episodes. I'm 2 in. I think that's the first. That's all we have
at this
right
point
now.
in real life.
Can't ask for more, right? I mean, we
Yeah.
can only do so much. Chris?
I'm up to date, up to speed on the current MCU version of Moon Knight. Really, my first introduction to Moon Knight. I've seen him out there in various games, but I didn't learn a lot of history about him. Picked up more here. I'm just getting a little prep for the show, so I picked up a little bit more information. Pretty cool dude, like complex.
Yeah, I used to always refer to Moon Knight as kind of like Marvel's Batman, but I guess I was way off with that because there's a supernatural aspect to him, and the whole Egyptian mythology that he draws power from
And
the Egyptian moon god.
Definitely abilities and powers that Batman wouldn't have. But
and Khonshu.
But I had heard the same thing too.
Yeah, just his fighting abilities.
Which is weird because he's all white and stuff. Like Batman's usually in a black. Like he's almost completely opposite.
He doesn't look like Batman. I'm just saying that was always kind of like, because in the comic book he does have devices and technology, and he was very adult themed in the comic. I'm surprised that the Disney Plus went with Moon Knight as their next character, seeing as how Disney, they try to sway towards more kid-friendly characters.
They have kind of upped their game with they put in the parental responsibilities and stuff, and have brought in the Netflix mature audience.
I saw that
Marvel stuff. So okay, I think they're ready to start pushing the borders more. I think they've noticed that the success that they're going to try to, I think, walk that line of almost DC maturity, but not quite.
Yeah,
and still hold on to the kids. But be a little bit more into mature ideas and things like that.
Okay, so far, what do you guys think of the show? I have to ask Carlos, what do you think of it?
Well, I would like to give you more information about it. Then I'll tell you what that show's all about. So let's start it off really quick, you guys, and then I'll answer that question, Marquez.
Okay.
All right, so we know already it's Moon Knight. He debuted in the comic books of Werewolf by Night, issue number 32, back in 1975. He was created by, and I'm sorry if I mess up his last name, but I got Doug Monick. That's as best as I can. And Don Perlin.
Okay.
I barely passed Hooked on Phonics. I mean, I'm sorry to throw it out there to the audience, but I did my best. I did what I could. So, sorry, guys.
We'll get there.
We'll get there eventually because it didn't work for me. So, anyways, now his alias name is Mark Spector.
Yeah.
So he's got powers and abilities here. So he's a martial artist. He has some detective skills going on. Also, there's another element of what we call mystic side to it. So he draws off his strength through the lunar connection. So okay, let's dive in. And Marquez, tell me a little bit more about his skills.
Well, I think he has accelerated healing, slightly elevated strength, speed, agility. And like you said, he uses gadgets and some detective work. I think that's where the Batman reference comes from. And I think Khonshu also grants him the ability to, I can't remember if it was from that Werewolf by Night, but he could move out of sync with normal time. something about the way the moon is cast on him, and I want for sure if the moon actually gives him his power or if it was all from Khonshu. Wasn't for sure how that worked. What do you?
In the comic book, it comes through Khonshu. He
Yeah.
blessed him that power in the comic books. Now, remember, as we always mention on the shows, if you want to know more in depth about the character, follow the comic books. If you follow the show, it sometimes is incongruent to what the comic book is. But what happened is he was a mercenary.
Yeah.
And what happened is that he got himself in a situation where, and we'll talk about the character next, where he teamed up with Bushman and he got double crossed. Then he was about to die. It was about to be over for Mark Spector. And what happened is he did a deal with Khonshu, right?
Khonshu, yeah.
Yes, he did a deal with him, and Khonshu used him as a vessel. So it's kind of like his own avatar. And he goes, "Hey, I'll resurrect you." Kind of like a Spawn /
kind of
Scorpion kind of thing going on for Mortal Kombat. And then with that being said, he became that deity of Khonshu and he became Moon Knight. And then that with the moon, it gives him enhanced powers. I wouldn't say like it'd be Superman kind of level thing where he goes up to the sun and gets entrenched of all that, but it's just that the moon does give him a slight advantage.
Okay. So that's pretty much what the source of his powers are. I don't know. I don't know much about the whole multiple personality aspect of it in the show.
I think that's more of a show thing. I believe in the comics it was more of he used alter egos to get places. Like like he would be Mr. Knight when he was trying to be a consultant. He'd be there was another one. He was a billionaire businessman.
Stephen Grant.
Yeah. Okay, Grant.
And so he had the different. It was. I don't think in the comic books it wasn't necessarily different personalities as much as what they're portraying in like the
show.
The show.
Yeah.
Also, I'd say in the show you have more reliability. Like, and I think that's where you get the more comparison to Batman is that in the comic books there's not quite as much mystical because Mark Spector was Olympic trained and as he was a Marine.
Yeah.
Like he knew how to fight and battle and stuff already. Probably one of the reasons Khonshu would have chosen him, as well as he was the person laid in front of the statue and given a choice to live as his avatar or die. But and originally he didn't have like these mystical powers. He had just armor, like he just wore his like body armor.
Yeah,
and he had weapons that were given to him by followers of Khonshu, created not so like in the TV series he pulls out those Garib things that are mystical. They're flying. They seem to be either controlled or boomerang like they always return to his hand no matter where it's at. Maybe that's a Batman.
Yeah, see, that's another.
Too.
Yeah,
but originally he didn't have quite the extreme amount of mystical powers as what we see. It was more he was just given life, and protection, not as much the super strength and all the other stuff. But I think it's probably more accurate though if you're the avatar of a god that you would have more of these abilities that they're showing in the MCU, the super strength. And
so far he's limited as to what he can do. I mean,
we've seen.
Yeah, right now
because we've been seeing it mostly from the conservative. Because in the MCU we have the dissociative personality kind of disorder.
Wow.
Where he has his normal personality living the life, and then Mark Spector takes over to whoop butt.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting because here we've got this big, especially in the MCU, the big introduction of Egyptian gods.
Yes.
Of course, we already have in the MCU a strong building of Norse gods with Thor, Loki, Odin being the strongest of all of them.
Yeah.
And so the difference, because of course Norse gods they can interact with humans face to face. There's no limits. But obviously, Egyptian gods have to have some sort of connection to the world. They can, what was it? Ethan Hawke's character said he was trying to keep Stephen Grant calm, and he was like, "Without you, unless you do anything, he can just blow wind and
that's all he could do.
Khonshu can't do anything unless you allow him to do it."
Yeah.
And it was the same for what's Arthur, the Ahmet's avatar.
Yeah.
In the
And wasn't Ethan Hawke? Didn't he also? Wouldn't he said something about he was one of his avatars?
He had been the Moon Knight avatar before becoming Ahmet's avatar, which is who he is now. And apparently, those two gods have a
war.
I would guess that as they continue this storyline, we'll see a little bit more. And you never know that there may not be a crescendo in the series of that battle. That might be a movie that comes out.
Yeah.
Or, I mean,
I'll bet you, and they're going with the whole free will thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know that they can't do anything unless you choose or unless you allow it.
Right.
You know, so. Go ahead, Carlos.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say is again, when I did my research on Ethan Hawke's character, that is a Disney-owned villain.
Yeah.
He's a made-up villain. So I had to dig in a little deeper, and so
the Egyptian god he has though is
real.
Yeah.
But the problem is like you said it there too. Khonshu, what's going on there is that with Moon Knight battling with this, well, it was first said that he had schizophrenia. But what's going on is that with him and Khonshu, they have this kind of agreement. Like I said, it brings back that, okay, hey, I'll be your vessel. I'll do what you want me to do, but this is what I want in return. And what's going on is that there's a conflict going on. So he's dealing with dual personalities. Mm-hmm. And in the comic books, with him building his empire, he's there goes that kind of that Batman Bruce Wayne kind of thing going on. And then he loses that for a while, and so he's poor. You know, just instead of eating filet mignons, he goes into the dollar menu. So there is a huge gap. But then you find out that there was a company that he was investing in, and therefore he regains his money, and here we go. So with his resources, he's building his gadgets. So it's just like Batman. I mean, I know we keep referencing Batman. But the only difference is in the comic books, he's a little bit more gorier when he's attacking. Yeah. He's not, especially the little boomerang, the little moon boomerang he has. It's pretty vicious.
Let's call it a moonerang.
And he also has a vehicle, a plane. He has a little plane that he travels because he doesn't fly.
And it looks like a crescent
moon. He glides with his cape similar to Batman.
But he doesn't
fly.
He has to touch down somewhere.
He has had multiple resurrections, which is not Batman-esque. I don't know if Batman's ever been through the Lazarus pit. I'm sure he probably has.
Not yet. Nope. Because he knows he would lose so much of who he is.
Well, most people aren't put in there voluntarily.
No,
to be fair.
Hey,
no.
I mean, some do, like Ra's al Ghul. You know, but
you want to come to the sauna?
Let's try to coin the phrase Lunarang. Okay, let's try let's make that a thing.
Yeah,
okay?
Lunarang.
Moon Knight's Lunarang. Yeah,
I like that. We'll do
that. Okay.
Trademark. Call us Disney.
But we know. Let's talk a little bit about.
Give us a price.
Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about his affiliation. So in the comic books, you know, he's entangled with a variety of characters. I mean, he's entangled with the Avengers. So he helps them out a little here and there. Also, one of the key things I found out is that he went one-on-one with Deadpool and he beat him.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I thought Deadpool was unbeatable. So, but then you see here that, Moon Knight took care of.
Khonshu has some power over life and death, too. That's different.
Yeah,
it's a little more.
A healing factor would be hard to counter, though. I mean, even if you have supernatural.
Well, and his healings, Deadpool's for another show, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't want to get.
We will definitely do a Deadpool. I know it's been one of those things that they've asked, and when we're going to do a Deadpool, is it's coming?
Yeah.
You guys just got to hold on. You got to hold on. You know, the Marvel universe is so huge. That gives us an opportunity to learn about the characters and talk about them. So we've heard you. Trust me, we've heard you. We're gonna. You will get your Deadpool. Hang in there. Also, should we give him the sneak peek or not yet? But I mean, I would like to. I wouldn't mind. Well, pretty soon we're gonna do Doctor Strange. So we will do Doctor Strange. We will do Scarlet Witch. So those are two key factors. But we'll give you that only, just a little bite. We'll give you a little bite. So look forward to that. And speaking of that, what we're gonna do is also we will promote. At the end, in a couple of weeks, we will promote tickets for that. And again, I'm telling you guys, I mean, we're holding on to tickets. All you have to
Get
do
some
is like,
and
subscribe.
subscribe
Yeah.
out there.
Get involved, you guys. I mean, we're listening. We want to interact with you guys. We're not some mainstream where, oh no, you have to go through our channel people. No, we are home based and we want to interact with our audience. So
Yeah.
talk to us. Come on, like a relationship, you guys.
That's right.
Let's make this happen. But anyway, so let's dive in a little bit into the other side of Moon Knight. Let's talk about the villain here. So we know Ethan Hawke is the villain in the Moon Knight show, but we decided to do something different. We want to talk his archenemy in the comic books. So in
Okay,
the comic
yeah.
books, his main villain is Bushman.
Yeah.
Bushman, like who in the world is Bushman? All right, well, he debuted on the comic book Moon Knight back in November of 1980, issue 1. Also created by Doug Moen Inc. I don't even know how to say his name. If he sues me, I'm sorry. Just work with me a little bit.
Okay.
Now, Marquez, since I've been debauchering all these names, can you name that one? Bill Sinquick?
Bill Sinquick?
Cienquitz and Doug Mate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, that goes for you too. So I'm sorry. I don't know. All right. So his alias name is Raoul Bushman. And you know,
Raoul Bushman.
Yep. So his powers and abilities. I mean, he's a fighter.
Yeah.
He's a weapons tactician, and he's got sharp teeth. Now you may ask, sharp teeth.
Trap
Hey,
jaw.
watch out! Here's the deal. Here's the deal. They're razor sharp, like our show. Razor cut.
Razor cut.
Sharp.
Don't
Now,
want to be
so-
biting your tongue with that.
No way. We don't want none of that. So let's talk a little bit about him. I'm going to start this off with you, Chris.
Yeah.
What do we know a little bit about Bushman?
Well, he came in as Spectre. He was with Spectre. He worked with him back in the Sudan early on in the comic books, and was really the result of. I mean, he was the cause of Spectre having to become Moon Knight.
Yeah.
He kills him while they're trying to get to the Khonshu statues and doing a dig in Egypt. He wanted the Egyptian gold. I don't think he wanted the powers. But that's when they get in a fight, and he winds up beating Spectre at that time, and that's how Spectre winds up getting the powers. And it's pretty crazy because shortly thereafter, as Moon Knight, Spectre goes in and carves his face off. As we said, it's a little more mature comic book with the Moon Knight.
It was bad because
He does come back. He's supernaturally raised, as many people can be in the comic books, and goes on to just be a kind of a thorn in Moon Knight's side, just doing whatever he can to mess with him,
yeah, and he's amped up to peak human physical condition.
Right.
And razor sharp metal teeth. I thought it'd be cool if his teeth were like vibranium or adamantium, some exotic metal like that.
I wouldn't doubt
it's
that
just metal.
if we
They're
see him in the MCU, that it probably will have some connection of either vibranium or I don't know. They haven't introduced adamantium yet.
No,
but if
no,
they
but
do,
they will.
I could see that. I could see him using a foreign substance of some sort to make it
Yeah.
not razor sharp, but just like these crazy jaws, teeth he puts in.
Oh, I'd hate to bite my tongue. I bit my tongue.
That's surgery. It's over.
But
Yeah.
overall, he does. And when you see in these shows, Moon Knight does struggle against him, and he has no powers. The guy has no powers,
Yeah.
but he
No
has
superpowers.
But he does have a little bit of someone behind the scenes that's helping him, which is the Sun King. The Sun King and Khonshu are arch rivals.
Right.
So since they're
That's
arch,
what, I thought Khonshu was the god of the moon.
Yeah. And
Not that he necessarily derives his power solely from it, but
Yeah, and I think
And-
Ra is the Egyptian sun god.
yeah.
Okay.
Who Bushman has powers or meets his avatar or becomes the avatar for a little bit.
exactly.
Okay.
So they're familiar with each other. I mean, especially we're mercs, so therefore, since they know each other, they can go after each other in that way. And what we see is that Moon Knight has to go the distance with them. It's kind of like, think of like the reference of Rocky and Apollo Creed. Just go on the distance. Has to go the distance. And I mean, even though that Moon Knight is successful, Bushman is not going anywhere. He's
No,
going to come
no.
back. Yeah, carve his face, do all that. He'll still come back. He'll come back.
Yeah, I do want to see him in the series, though. I think that'd be great to see him.
I think he'll be. He won't be quite the spectacular number one villain in the series,
No.
but I wouldn't doubt that he would show up as like the number one side.
I know who to choose.
Main side
Michael
guy.
J.
Horror.
White. Michael J. White. Pete
Yeah.
Bushman. I will take.
But he's
I
already-
love Michael J. White.
He's always the bronze tiger in Arrow. Michael J. White. He's always he's already the bronze tiger in the Arrowverse.
Yeah, but this is MCU. He's
Yeah,
stepping
but-
up to the big time now.
They
and
can
Oscar,
do it.
And Oscar Isaacs is Apocalypse in X-Men. Remember?
No one cares.
No.
Those don't count.
Yeah. But I did like the Apocalypse though. The movie was
Yeah.
pretty. It just
That was-
that's a story for another day. It's just no. That's kind of
It's,
that's like
it's just hard when, especially X-Men, it needs to be in a connected universe. Just the nature of it with
Yeah.
with all the different power, kids coming in from everywhere that build up the X-Men mythos there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons that the recent iterations of X-Men just didn't quite go where they needed to. It just felt like they were kind of out there. And why are we watching this? It's not going anywhere.
Yeah. And plus, it wasn't consistent with each other. It didn't tie in well.
Right.
The X-Men.
And at the
universe.
same
It just-
time, we're seeing this glorious story of the MC universe, just where it's
without
growing at the same time. And you're like,
without
"Ah."
X-Men.
Right.
Yeah. So.
well, be careful because it's already been at Kevin Feige has already shown the next phases, and yes, X-Men is coming.
It's got.
you guys.
They have to.
Really?
It's coming. Yeah, them and the Fantastic Four. I think it's going to be a sneak peek in Doctor Strange, because in the Illuminati, in the comic books, it's Professor X.
Yeah.
And Patrick Stewart, I mean, that's no surprise. He's going to be in that movie, so we know
cool.
already. It's coming.
The question
Yeah.
from here on out will always be, where were these guys during the Thanos incident?
Well, yeah, and that's the whole thing.
Because
Anytime-
especially when
yeah.
you've got guys like Professor X and Magneto, who's got their powers during World War II.
Yeah. Well, they
That's
had to
part of the-
change that. Because
There's going to
they
have to be something.
They have to modernize it.
That's
you know,
I would guess that they're going to have to do something where all of a sudden, similar to where the Flash in the CW, they had the particle collider go, and then all of a sudden power started popping up.
Yeah.
I would see something like that where something happens and all of a sudden mutants start popping up. And the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they had the Inhumans. There was the thing that let off spores that started
Yeah.
releasing people's inhuman genes that they didn't know about.
Yeah, it was
and
called the
started-
Terrigen.
Yes,
Terrigen
the
mist.
Terrigen mist.
Yeah, and it-
And so something along those lines. And if they allow, because they brought over Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when they brought over all the Netflix stuff into the DC or into the Disney. Sorry,
Yeah.
excuse my language.
Oh.
Marvel.
What?
Into the Disney universe.
Yeah.
They did bring over Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There was questions about if they were going to keep all that stuff relevant into the MCU.
Yeah.
Seems like maybe they're going to try to allow it with the
Yeah.
multiverse. And so they
I
could
hope
bring in the
so.
Terrigen. I wish Inhumans would have made more than one season. That was
Yeah.
number two. But anyway, back to Bushman.
Yeah. Yeah. We got
Yeah, I was about to say, so let's get back to Bushman a little bit.
He will
So-
be cool to see. He'll be a great fighter for sure.
Well,
I could see him. They could even bring him in. Maybe he comes in Black Panther 2 and gets some teeth.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
We look forward to that. But yeah, that was pretty much it on that end. I mean, he does have more villains that we will discuss, but for now, we just wanted everyone to get a sneak peek of Moon Knight. So let's go ahead and give a quick pause, segment break, and thank our following sponsors. All right, you guys. So don't forget, Moon Knight is on Disney Plus. Also, we would like to give a following thank you to Prairie Dogs here locally in Wichita, Kansas. Go to Prairie Dogs where you can find your comic books, and staff is knowledgeable, friendly there. So if you're into playing Dungeons and Dragons, if you're into playing Magic and all those kind of games, that's the place to be.
Yes.
And also for all your comic book needs, the guys got them. The staff is knowledgeable.
Yeah.
They are up to speed, and I thank you guys so much for giving us guidance on this show as well. So any final thoughts before we go?
I like to say this about Prairie Dog. That's the only. I still read comics for entertainment. I'm not a collector. I love comic books. And that's the only place in town that I go to get my comics is Prairie Dog. So
Yeah, go Prairie Dog.
Yeah.
All right. And then for our out of towners, if you don't have a local comic book, what we'll do is we will get in partnership with Prairie Dogs so we can order stuff online. So, and then just let them know that you heard it through our show. Get you a discount. We'll figure something out there.
Ooh,
So,
yeah.
but I want to also thank them. I want to thank the people behind the scenes. Thank you guys for being here. Also, I want to thank to all the audience and listeners that are out there that I don't know. This one's going to be for you. If I never met you in person and you listen to us, we appreciate you. I mean, we're on the Spotify, we're on iTunes, also with YouTube. But just like and subscribe. Let's get the show growing, you guys. Let's get up there. And like I said, we got tickets that we give away, and hey, we're not begging you guys, so it doesn't come off that way. Just know that hey, we want to give back, and that's just something we could do. And all you have to do is just tune in, and we'll give out prizes. So thank you guys, Chris.
Yeah, just a shout out to the guys working behind the scenes. Thanks for all your hard work. And I want to give a little shout out to my friends at work, Keenan and Daniel. Thank you guys for listening. And yeah, that's all, I guess. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, look forward to the next episode. So the next episode we will do we're not doing Doctor Strange yet.
No,
Not
we
yet. But
gotta
we
see
will
it.
that will be coming soon. So you'll find out next episode who will be. Thank you guys.